Most of our thoughts and feelings come from our past experiences. They come from our memories. In fact, your brain is organized to reflect everything you know in your life. Your brain is a record of all the things you've learned and experienced to date. It's an artifact. And when you have an experience, when you're in the midst of an experience, all of your five senses plug you into the external environment. And as your brain is processing all of this vital sensory data, all of that information rushes back to the brain. When it reaches the brain, it causes jungles of neurons to organize themselves into networks, to string into patterns, to reflect their interaction with their external environment. The moment those neurons organize into patterns, the brain makes a chemical, and that chemical is called a feeling or an emotion. And so experiences tend to create more long-term memories because it patterns or stamps or embosses networks of neurons into very specific patterns. And then the emotional quotient helps us to remember the event. The end product of experience, of course, is the emotion, and it causes us to feel certain ways. You can remember where you were on 9/11. You can tell me who you were with, what time of day it was, what you were doing, because whatever you were seeing in that moment or hearing in that moment changed how you were feeling. And the moment you felt altered or you felt differently, significantly, your brain perked up and you paid attention to whatever caused that. And that event in and of itself is called a memory. So then most of our thoughts and feelings tend to be within the neural circuitry of the past and the emotions of the past chemically. If you combine a thought and a feeling, a thought and a feeling, a thought and a feeling, and you have a series of good thoughts that are connected to a series of good feelings, that cycle of thinking and feeling creates what's called an attitude. If you have a series of negative thoughts that are connected to some pretty bad feelings, you'll say you have a pretty bad attitude today. So if how you think and how you feel creates a state of being, then attitudes are just shortened states of being. You can feel good in the morning, you can feel bad in the afternoon. If you take an attitude, an attitude, an attitude, and you begin to string attitudes together, when you combine an attitude, an attitude, an attitude, you start to form what's called beliefs. Now, a belief is just a thought you keep thinking over and over again until you hardwire it in your brain. And because beliefs are based on past experiences, then the very boundaries of our beliefs are how we feel. And so when our beliefs get challenged, it typically doesn't feel right. I think there's a strong intellectual division going on in the world right now because some people are holding on to old paradigms and old beliefs. And look, if we're measuring normal, we're going to get normal. I mean, for years, the idea that you couldn't grow new brain cells or couldn't change the brain in some way, that was a belief. And you know why? Because the scientist that was doing the experiment was studying rodents in an unchanging environment. How could there ever be any new connections or new circuitry or new brain cells if there's no new experiences?
Woo! Today is going to be a good one. Great morning, family. Grand Rising. Another beautiful day. Blessed and grateful. Ready to go ahead and take advantage. Super grateful to be on here with you guys. Grateful for another day. Grateful for the opportunity. Grateful for the family. Grateful to be healthy. And grateful to go ahead and take advantage of 2022. So with no further ado, fire training for you guys today. As you can see, this is going to be known as the ReWire Your Brain Day 1. Right? So here's what we're going to do. So many of us, we're so used to thinking negative, right? Caught up in a world where there's so much noise. Today, I want to actually shift your paradigm, right? I want to actually start have you thinking in a whole different light. And the way we're going to do that is with a powerful exercise. So get out your pen, get out your paper. I'm going to go ahead and preface it before I get into it with action. Okay? I want to go ahead and give you guys a couple of questions on action before I give you your quick exercise to go ahead and dive in. And I can tell you, I went through this exercise with a couple of our mentors as well, and I'm telling you, this is going to change the game when you guys apply this. So you ready? Let's get into it. First thing you need to understand is you don't need strength, right? You guys have enough strength. A lot of you guys are stronger than an ox, but the difference is what we learned is you need power, right? You need to get your power back into your mind. So here's what we need to ask first of all, right? For action. As far as action goes, You guys might not want to take action, but let me ask you this, okay? What does the word action actually mean to you? The biggest reason why a lot of us don't take action is the confidence side. So we're going to go through that today, but I want to ask you 4 different questions. Number one, what does the word action mean to you? Go ahead and drop it down in the chat. Let me ask you guys that, okay? If you go ahead and Google it, you're going to see action is the process of doing to go ahead and achieve an aim or a goal, okay? So now you've got the definition. Let's break it down a little bit deeper. You ready? What does action look like to you? Go ahead and drop it down in the chat. What does action look like to you? I'll give you a couple ideas for me. For me, action looks like activity, movement, work, effort, right? When you start breaking words down, you're going to get a stronger meaning, and now you're actually going to be able to make them make sense, okay? Let's dig a little bit deeper. What does action mean to you? Now we're starting to really dig deep. What does action actually mean to you? Okay, now put this down. Here's what action means to me. You ready? This is where the trigger starts to happen in your brain. Fulfillment, joy, achievement, relief. See? Now you start to understand that when you actually go out and take the action, all of the good effects that actually come from it, rather than being so scared, thinking of the what if and thinking about if you fail, right? Start to think about it in a different light. Let's go a step deeper than that. You ready? So what does action mean to you? Now I'm going to ask you, what does action feel like? Now it gets a little bit deeper into the rabbit hole. Here's what action can feel like. And sometimes it can be scary, adventurous, right? What else? Unknown, without a doubt. Okay, this is facts. This is true. But now I want to take it one step deeper, right? This is where I really take it to the root. Here's what I need you to understand. What does it feel like when you take action? You're in the groove. You guys ever had what's called a flow state, right? Where you just start doing something and you don't see the outside world. You're locked in. You're completely focused on what it is that you guys are doing. This is the one that really started to hit me deep. So for me, what does action feel like when you're hot? Feels like flow state. It feels smooth. It feels abundant, right? What else? Blinders, okay? So now that you start to understand the power of action and you understand it at a deeper level, watch how I take it to you now, okay? For many of you guys, if I were to ask you to write a list, right, just like we did, we got asked to write a list of 1,000 negative things, you could write that probably by tonight. But now when I flip it to the opposite side of it, how many of you guys could write 500 things that you accomplished in your lifetime by today? The first thing you guys think about, there's no way I'm going to be able to write 5. I can't even begin to think about 100 things I've done well. See, the issue, we've got so caught up in the negativity, what we've done wrong, the what ifs, that you've forgotten everything that you've done well, all the things that you've accomplished, all the trials and tribulations that you've actually got through. So I want you to start writing down in the chat, how many things did you accomplish that you didn't know how to do at one time? And watch when you start to write it down, you're going to see there's a lot more than you think. I'll give you a couple ideas. You ready? At what's something that you accomplished that you didn't know how to do at one time? It's more simple than you think. First thing, how many of you guys at one point in time, you didn't know how to ride a bike? It could be something so simple like that, right? You guys all graduated through first, second, third, fourth, fifth. I want you to write all of the grades that you guys actually got through, because guess what? Each grade at one time was new for you. So here's the difference between a boss and a leader, right? A boss is going to tell you what to do, 11-11. A leader is going to lead by example. So I'm not just going to get on here and tell you guys, go write down, 500 things that you guys have done well that you didn't know at one time. I'm on it too. I'm really doing it with you, right? So the training I just gave you, I wrote down what action means to me. I wrote down what action feels like. And I'm telling you, if you do the work, if you really dive into these trainings, it's going to make everything shift for you, okay? So here's a handful of things on my 500 that I didn't know how to do at one time, right? Graduating college, graduating high school, right? Doing talent shows. I won 4 state championships in baseball. I played in the Little League World Series as Team USA. I have long jump records at my high school, right? Being able to cook different meals, being able to give back to charities, being able to give back to the homeless, driving from Florida to Philly, driving from Florida to Texas. So many different things that you guys are going to be able to see. Being featured on HBO TV, being on Fox 4 News, being on ABC, even little things, learning how to drive a car, going hiking in the mountains, going sledding, going tubing, snowboarding, skiing, getting on a motorcycle, right? All of these, pole vaulting, all of these things I didn't know how to do at one time, but to be able to really go back and see how many things that you actually accomplished, it really puts things in a different light for you, right? So look at that, honorably served in the U.S. Navy. So believe it or not, you have so many things that you guys have actually done well. And today, I want you to dig deep and actually put it on paper so you can see how powerful you really are. Because the problem is you just might have forgot what's inside of you. And when you remember it, when you wake up the beast, that's when life starts to open up for you. So that's my training for you guys today on how to really start rewiring your brain with a simple exercise, right? Just remembering what you can do and what you're capable of. So I believe in you. If nobody told you today, you are powerful, you're a leader, you're unstoppable. Now it just takes you to go out and remember it and take the action. So if you believe in yourself, if you're ready to go ahead and write down your list of 500 and make it happen, drop some 555s in the chat. And if you want to take it a step further, take a picture of your list, even if you get 50 to 100 today, and go drop it in your group chat and go start a fire so everybody else can go lead the way as well. So with that being said, I love you guys. I will see you at the top because the whole squad is coming together. Let's get to work.